Welcome back to this World of Warcraft Let's Play. You're Sambo, and joining us as always is, well, not our Worgen mage, but our human form mage today, Seraphis. Say hello, Seraphis.
The beast in me hungers.
Oh my goodness, you've got a very deep voice. And of course, joining us is our new companion, Withers, that we picked up in the last episode. Of course, at the end of that major quest line, we got ourselves a nice little pet. Very happy about that, taking our pet collection count to 9 out of 15. Now, by the way, another thing I didn't mention in last episode, whenever you're tracking a achievement, from this case, of course, we're looking at something that's 9 out of 15, you can actually hit the track button down there, right next to it, and if we click that, you'll see it actually appears here in your objective list. So you can see up the top there, plenty of pets, and 9 out of 15. And if you click on it, it takes you straight to that particular achievement, and you can untick track to get rid of that as well. Very cool. And if you also remember, at the end of our last episode, we had just been given a couple of quests to the southwest here to go check out the Twilight's hammer, which have set up down south. And we're going to be doing this before we head over to Darnassus, because we want to hit level 20 first, so that we can go over there and do everything at once we're in the main city, so training and all the rest of it. Now, before we go any further, some of you may be wondering, what is all this? What is going on here? What is this funny stuff? Is this always here? All of these buildings and all these people, these Midsummer celebrants and the Darkshore Flame Warden? Well, the answer is no, they're not always here. This is part of the Midsummer Festival. Now, if you ever want to know what's going on in the World of Warcraft, you click on your map, and you can see here on the map that we're halfway through what is called the Midsummer Fire Festival. And of course, this is centered around the US summer, and over here, of course, in Australia, it's winter at the moment, so it's not really relevant. But based on the US dates, it's actually a true Midsummer Festival. And by the way, it ends pretty much around July the 4th, which of course is the US Independence Day. And around that time, there are generally big fireworks spectaculars. And in fact, there you go, you can see there a fireworks spectacular is over the 4th and the 5th. But this is the Midsummer Fire Festival. Now, we're not going to go in depth as to what it's all about. But whenever there's a festival, generally speaking, there's a whole bunch of stuff, extra activities that you can do for fun. You don't ever have to do a festival. You're not going to inhibit your leveling or anything like that by not doing them. But of course, they do offer extra XP for rewards. And sometimes they offer pets, items of clothing. For example, I do know for a fact, having done this on my main Death Knight Draenei tank, that you can actually get those spoilers, and you can get, in fact, a whole outfit of very special gear, and you can get a couple of pets and some really cool stuff from the Midsummer vendor in a major city. All you need to do to start them, oh, and by the way, not to forget, very importantly, achievements here. And if you look under the World Events tab, if we go down to Midsummer here, you can see that there's all of these achievements that you can get by performing all these tasks in and during the Midsummer Festival. And by the way, if you don't do them all, if you don't complete them all, yep, that's right, you have to wait for another whole full year before you can attempt them again. And of course, all of these are only pretty much once every month or other month. Sometimes there's a couple of months go by in the year where there are no festivals. Why am I talking about this? Because you see all of these achievements for each of the individual events that go on. For example, Love is in the Air, that's around Valentine's Day. Noble Garden is Easter. You've got things like Brewfest. We've got Pilgrim's Bounty, Winter Veil, which is, of course, the Christmas, and you've got the Argent Tournament there, which we'll get into much later in the game. Basically speaking, all of these have a whole bunch of achievements associated with them. If you get every single achievement of every single event, which means playing for a year, or more if you miss out on any of them, you can, right at the bottom, get this very, very hallowed achievement. You'll see here it's called What a Long Strange Trip It's Been. Now, I can proudly say that I've actually got that on my main character, and I was very proud when I got it last year. You can see here, if you complete all of these achievements for all of these world events, you actually get rewarded with a Violet Proto Drake and Master Riding skill. Very, very awesome. Now what I'll do, I will show you that Violet Proto Drake, because it's very special, in another episode on my main, and I'm very proud of it because, of course, it actually took me 2 years to get it because I didn't start until midway through a year, and then I accidentally missed one of them. No, it was a nightmare. So it took a whole bunch of time and a whole bunch of effort, but well worth it, and I'm very proud of it, as I said. Anyway, to start one of these festivals, what do? Well, all you do is walk up basically to any ones of the ones that have got a quest and take it. As simple as that. Honour the flame. So it says here, have you come to honour this flame? Now he's talking about that flame over there, by the way. Remember, our festival fires burn in every land with an alliance settlement. And of course, alliance is our faction as opposed to the horde. And it says here, make time to honour each of them if you can. The horde also burn fires of their own. You would do well to desecrate such unworthy efforts. So big part of the Midsummer Fire Festival, if we ignore him for a moment, is to go to these fires which are spread all around the world. And by the way, when I say all around the world, I mean everywhere. So all around the entire continent here, all around this continent, all around Northrend, all around the Deep Home, I think there's some, and even, I'm pretty sure that they're even in Outland as well, with all of its huge big zones. So it's a very big task, but of course it does get you to places that you may not have seen before. And if you are a horde, or rather an alliance, you also have to go visit the ones near horde outposts. So that means as you get closer, you actually get flagged as PvP sometimes, and makes you vulnerable to attack from the other players. And what you have to do is you go up and you use their flames to desecrate them, and that will definitely flag you as PvP. And it's a bit of a rush, so it's pretty cool. And that's what he's talking about. And you can see here we've got a quest called Honour the Flame. Honour the Darkshore Flame. And we will actually receive part of the Midsummer Festival token currency. And that is a burning blossom. Now you'll see here we're going to receive not only money, but XP. So it does pay to do all of the summer or any world event quests. But we also get, generally speaking, they have a currency of some particular description. In this case, they're burning blossoms. Now, they act both as currency. You can see I'm going to get 5 of them there. And when you go to a Midsummer vendor, they have a bunch of unique and special stuff only available during the Midsummer event that you can buy for, you know, whatever, for 5 blossoms, for 100. Some of them are 350 blossoms, which I just got the other night, a pet too, by the way. Or you can actually use them and right-click them near a Fire Festival bonfire to receive the Fire Festival Fury buff, or to reignite an extinguished bonfire. So, in actual fact, you can see here that this is extinguished. All right. So, what that means is that if we try and do anything, I don't want to do that just yet. Hang on, I'll talk about that in a second. What we can do is we can actually reignite that by using one of these burning blossoms. So let's do that. And there we go. So we've reignited our festival fire in the area. Now that means a horde can come along and desecrate it, by the way, but as long as that fire is burning, you can see there's a zone-wide buff here called Bonfires Blessing, and everyone in the zone gets that. And so it's a big help to everyone, because you can see here you have a 30% chance to inflict 190 fire damage on any melee, ranged or spell attack. So while this fire festival's on, it's, you know, and you see a bonfire that's been desecrated by the horde, as this one was, set it on fire again. We also get ourselves this, look at this, a Fire Festival Fury for 1 hour, increases our critical strike percent by 3 and causes fire damage to attackers. Very cool. Now, another part of the Midsummer Festival is dancing. And what better way to do that than around a ribbon pole? Now, of course, a ribbon pole is WoW's equivalent of a maypole, and you can see it here. All we need to do is right-click on it, and you'll see that we actually start dancing around it with a tethered ribbon. There we go. And we start setting it on fire. Now what you'll start to see up the top here is this ribbon dance buff, and the longer we dance for, the longer the duration of the buff. Now, by the way, what is very important for us, because we're, you know, well below level cap, so we need all the experience we can get. This buff actually increases experience gained from killing monsters by 10%. You can see now it's worth 29 minutes worth, 32. The longer I keep dancing, the longer the buff will appear there. Now, I think the maximum is 60 minutes. It's up to, what's it up to now? 38, 41 minutes. And there you go, you can hear the festival music in the background. Nice and cheery there with the very summery, dancey feel going on. And there we go, 55 minutes. and I love the music. I love the whole feeling of the summer festival. It's very cool. And there we go, it's maxed out now at 60 minutes. To get out of there, you just run away and it will break that tether. There we go, now we've got this buff, and basically as long as the fire festival is on, there's a fire breathing NPC there, which by the way, again, is through to July the 5th in this case. We're going to be able to come back to the ribbon pole and get that buff, so it's a big help. So definitely worth doing it. By the way, we've got a server shutdown in 15 minutes. So this episode is going to be a little bit shorter than usual. It's a very important shutdown tonight. It's earlier than normal, and that's because they're about to drop patch 4.2, which is Rage of the Firelands. Now, if you don't know about that, I'd certainly suggest you go look it up. If you go to the main worldofwarcraft.com website, you'll see there's a whole section on this new patch. One of the biggest patches ever, and it's a post-cataclysm patch, obviously, and there's just so many things that they're changing. They're adding in areas, they've added in a raid, they're changing up the interface. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's absolute pages and pages and pages of quest notes, of patch notes, all of interest, by the way. So I certainly suggest you go over to the website if you are playing at the moment, because there's going to be big changes, and I think for the better as well, by the way. Alright, let's have a look and see what this Fire Eater's got to say for us. Playing with fire. Are you interested in learning some hot new skills? And by the way, you might notice that a lot of these events in festivals are just designed to be fun, but again, you still actually get XP and gold and currency, so it's well worth doing. But they are something different from your normal questing. I don't know if you'll ever be able to match my own considerable skill, says the Fire Eater, but you can probably pick up a trick or two if you're an attentive student. Speak to a Master Fire Eater at any Alliance capital, and they should be able to help you. So, of course, what that means for us is probably going to Darnassus. One more reason that we should go back there once we hit 20. And you can see here we've got a Midsummer Quest section now in the quest log, and if we click on that and have a look at the map, you'll see that it is indeed pointing us to the back of Darnassus there. So we will definitely go and see them when we head to Darnassus next. Now, what have we got? 13 minutes left according to the server shutdown timer. So let's get on our, let's go on our Dark Flight ability here as we race through the forest. Let's see if we can at least make it to the questing area that we need to be in, where we have to start hacking away at, of course, these Twilight Hammerfolk. Now, I've just trying to cast my mind back to an earlier episode that we filmed, and I'm pretty sure that we did sneak over and have a look at their huts and their encampment, and we were wondering what it was about, and we were pretty sure that at some point we'd probably have to head back. Well, it looks like this is it. And in fact, I can see it appearing in the distance there. We're just going to go off the beaten track, take a shortcut across here rather than going right around, because we're running out of time more than anything. The server's going to shut down in 12 minutes. And we can start to see, all sorts of weirdness going on. And this is definitely the Twilight Camp here. Let's take a look from up on high. It is. Alright, that's where we need to be. And I can see a quest over there as well. We've got a Moon Priestess. Moon Priestess Tharil, who looks to be on a sacrificial altar. Oh dear. Alright, maybe we can save her. And if we hover over these Twilight Fanatics, we can see that they are in fact... Yep, they're coming up the Twilight's Hammer quest, and they're going to count towards it, which is what we want. So let's see if we can take out a few of these before the shutdown kicks in. There we go, nice and easy, because sadly we're a little bit high for this area. We're level 19, coming on 20, and these guys are like level 12. But it's okay, we don't mind. And we especially don't mind if there's a copper node around the corner. Always wanting to get that, of course, and never let that money go down the drain. Alright, these Twilight Fanatics. Let's see if we can clear them out again. He's saying intrude is good. I was getting bored. Well, now you're going to get dead, mate. Yes, that's right. Oh, and look at this, sparkling on the ground. And how cool, by the way, the props around here. You can see they've got that sort of Deathwing head on them or something. Very cool design. You can see we've got a glowing thing down here. That is Twilight plants. So they're going to be littered around the place randomly, I'd say. We've got to make sure that we pick them up. In fact, there's another one over there. Now we've got a rat. I definitely want to kill the rat because you get an achievement for killing pests, and I'd imagine that rat is a part of that. And because look at that, we got 4 arcane missiles now. You may remember we increased that in an earlier episode by using this improved arcane missile talent here, adding a extra missile to our bolts. Carnage, may I spill blood in his name. I wonder who he's talking about. I know who he's talking about, and perhaps you do too if you play well. Look at this Moon Priestess Thuril. I hope they haven't already sacrificed her. Power over the tides. Do not worry about me. My wounds are deep and death will soon come to me. Oh, we're sorry about that. It's all up to you now. You must stop the Twilight's hammer. Alright, the old gods they worship have granted them power over the restless water spirits, but that power is tenuous. Channel Elune's presence through this orb once the elementals have been defeated. Use the power of Elune to banish the spirits permanently. So we have to use the Orb of Elune on the remains of 6 enraged tidal spirits. Looks like we get ourselves a cloak there as well. And of course Elune, may the stars guide you as well. Elune of course is the deity that the night elves sort of, well, not pray to, but that is their god if you like, or the one that blesses them. Alright, so we definitely need these enraged tidal spirits because we want to kill them and then use the orb, once we've looted them, use the Orb of Elune, which of course is a quest item you can see there in our backpacks. It soothes the remains of an enraged tidal spirit, and we can also not only use it from our backpack by right clicking on it in our bags, but we can also use it here just up in the quest tracker, which is very handy. Alright, so it says invalid target. Let's select it. There we go. And there it is. We turned it into a tranquil tidal spirit. Very cool. So a tidal spirit soothed, 1 of 6. So what do we got? We've got about 9 minutes left. Let's maybe do that while we're here until the end of the episode. So first of all, we've got to, of course, purge them. Then loot them, but of course we want to loot them before we actually select them and then use the Orb of Elune on them, because possibly we'd lose the loot once they turn from an enraged tidal spirit to a tranquil one. Now, in this weird bubbly water down here, amongst all the chaos, we've got ourselves some mining nodes. So let's take that. Hello, withers! Money, 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 money. Alright, let's pick off this guy out here. We've got the range, because of course we've got such a huge range as a mage. 35-yard range on our frostbolt. And a 40-yard range. Goodness, I didn't even notice that on our arcane missiles. Very cool. Now, I've just noticed something else. Oh my god. Right, I'm going to ignore that person there. Just right click and ignore, because they keep sending me invites, and we don't want to do that. I don't know if you noticed before, but withers looked a lot smaller. And I guess it makes sense because their name is Withers. But when we went into the water there, it actually came up with a message, and it said, Withers absorbs the water, growing back to full size. Now, I don't know anything about withers, but I'm going to guess that as long as he's away from water, he actually shrinks. And if so, that is so cool, it's not funny. And I guess in order to bring him back to full size, you have to dunk him in the water. If that is the case, then that is the coolest thing ever. What a great idea for a withered ent. Because of course they basically dehydrate. I'm going to have to look that one up on Wowhead and just check if that's what actually happens, because if so, that is very cool. Because I could have sworn that was bigger than before, and we were looking at it before, and I'm thinking, it must have been maybe the angle or something like that, I don't know. But no, apparently he has shrunk. So we'll keep a close eye on him. Let's see if we can stay out of water and see what happens. Okay, 6 minutes left, and look at that beautiful reflection of the sun. And what's the server time? It's actually, that's right, we're on an Australian, or rather an Australasian oceanic server. So of course the server time is the same as the real time. It's 5 minutes to 8 at night, so that in fact is the sun setting, giving off that nice orange glow on the water. Very cool. Very soothing and relaxing as we're here, of course, with the sounds of the sea and the sunset and a bit of combat. Yeah, maybe not so soothing and relaxing, but I get soothed and relaxed being on. Sometimes, in some games I'll actually sit here at the water's edge, because sometimes it's just nice to feel like you're actually sitting at the beach with the sound of the waves and everything. And of course, we all know, yes, that we're not really there, but sometimes it can play a bit of a trick on your mind, and it can be really relaxing after a hard day's work. And by the way, I get a lot of questions from people saying, gosh, Sambo, how come you play MMOs so fervently? How come you play so many of them? Well, you know what, to be completely honest, without sounding like a weirdo, it's because I work very hard during the day, and as you all know, probably I have very little sleep as well. And I get tired and I get stressed just like anybody else, just like the rest of you. And I sometimes like to be able to get lost in my own little fantasy world. Yes, I know it's not real. And no, I know I'm not 8 years old, but you know what? It's just too much fun, and it's just a great escape, and it's very relaxing, and it just sort of tricks your mind into, being in a nice, faraway, fantastical land, and that's good enough for me. Alright, what do we got? 4 minutes, 15 seconds left till shutdown, so perhaps we'll wait till we've got 1 minute left before we make a mad dash to log out, and of course logging out not in an inn will take us 20 seconds, so we do have to take that into consideration as well. Now, how's Withers going? Yeah, look at that. He's much smaller. Okay, I am going to test that theory, and we'll do that to finish off this episode perhaps. Let's see what happens. Let's watch the text here, and we'll watch his size. Is he growing? No. So maybe we've got to actually swim out. There we go. Withers absorbs water. Look at that. He did. He grew to full size. Withers absorbs the water, growing back to full size. I don't know what to say. That is the coolest thing ever. What a neat idea for a pet. Wow. Alright, well, maybe on that note, even though it's basically a very short episode compared to normal, we don't have much choice because we've got about 3 minutes left till shutdown. We might park ourselves here by the side of the lovely beach on the mist's edge as the sun sets there. You can see it on the water with Withers, our companion, and a shimmer shell snail wandering around in the background. I think that's it for us. In the next episode, of course, we are going to head, where are we going to head? Just a little bit south of us, and continue with the Twilight's hammer offensive, and you can see here we've got Twilight plans to collect as well. And of course, hopefully by then, yeah, look, we're 1 bar away from leveling to level 20, so we're definitely going to hit level 20, and we'll make our way back up there to the top of the Teldrassil tree to Darnassus, where we'll do a whole bunch of stuff. We'll definitely get the riding skill, we'll train ourselves up with new skills as our actual offensive combat skills, and of course we'll do the auctioneering, and we'll do our selling and our banking, and we'll do crafting, and probably be able to train up a whole new bunch of training tiers for crafting as well. As our daily quests, we'll also do those. So lots and lots and lots on the horizon, including of course some dungeons, which we mustn't forget before we hit level 21. So with 2 minutes on the clock and the sun setting in the background, I think that's it from us. I certainly hope you enjoyed that episode. Hope you enjoyed that brief explanation of, once again, the Midsummer Fire Festival, and make sure that you are playing that and doing the quests if you're playing WoW at the moment. You've got through till July the 5th till that finishes. But in the meantime, I certainly hope you're having a great day, and won't you join us in the next episode from myself, Sambo, from Seraphis, our Worgen Mage, and indeed from Withers, our very thirsty little companion. It's us saying take care, we'll see you later, and bye-bye.